close your eyes.
"31 drivers rolling the dice at Vegas, all in the hopes of hitting it big in the desert." Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Eliza Bethel alongside Pete Ruzick for SnB's Cup Series presented by WoodyxCA. Pete, last week at Daytona, we saw Tom Flitcroft win back-to-back Daytona 225s. Now, I know Brody won last season. Do you think we're going to see a back-to-back win again here tonight?
Man, I think it's absolutely possible. First off, Rosen, glad to be back, Eliza. Last week at Daytona was all kinds of nail-biting racing. 1.4 wide. Last season, you kind of tempted right at it. There was a .003 difference between the leader and first place. The high line showed the 17 tried to get on down on the apron, just nowhere to go for him. Couldn't take the spot. Holzer ended up P2. He tweeted out earlier he wanted to get it done this week. I think he can, but a lot of other people might have something to say about that.
I agree. Vegas is a fun track. You can use so many lines out here. But the thing is, we're going to have to watch the tire wear. We're going to have to watch how loose we get. It's going to start off tight. These guys are going to want to take it 3 and 4 wide heading into turn 1. And I can tell you that's going to spell catastrophe for these guys. So we're going to have to keep an eye on the tire wear, make sure we're running a couple of different lines, make sure to run those lines so that we can get the tire wear spread more evenly throughout. So you're going to see these guys hunting for the best grip, the best place to run that to even out that tire wear. But right now, we're in qualifying, P, and it looks like we have a lot of close times during practice. I think we're going to see the same here for qualifying.
Absolutely. The guy on top of the boards for practice was last week's winner, the 8 of Tom Flitcroft. Right now, he is actually out there on track. He seemed to have a pretty fast line. He was quick by himself as well as in the pack, and whether he was leading, sucking up in the draft or doing whatever he was doing, Tom Flitcroft able to absolutely show that he's here to try to go 2 for 2.
Absolutely. Andrew Wisdom goes to the top of the board with a 30.01. We have Riley, who was P2 on the charts for practice. He just got moved down to P3 with a 30.20, tied with Andrew Sanford with a 30.20. And there goes Matt O'Brien to the top of the board, tied with Wisdom with a 29.98. These times are close, and you know what that means. Close times in qualifying means a very close race.
Absolutely. So far, 2 drivers that are sub 30 second. You went right to it. Matt O'Brien and Andrew Wisdom. Andrew, last season's champion, really showing up that, hey, I can get this Busch machine in victory lane. I think he's going to visit there very often in this abbreviated season compared to what we've seen in season 1 and season 2. I think Andrew Wisdom's going to be a player again.
Absolutely. These guys doing a great job. O'Brien seems to be hanging out there. We also have Luke Allen, who just moved up into second place with a 29.98. That makes 3 drivers with the same exact time. And then you have Tom Flitcroft, last week's winner, at a 29.99. So the times here are just insanely close.
Absolutely. I mean, first through fifth right now, less than a tenth. Andrew Sanford in at number 37, sitting sixth at 1 full tenth behind Matt O'Brien, our current leader.
Let's see if we can get Matt O'Brien in here. I don't want to jinx him. We still got a lot of time left, but we have a lot of drivers that are out there. So let's see if we can't get him up here from Nitro Motorsports. Let's see if we can find the broadcast booth. Here we go. Oh, oh, Brian, how are you doing out there? I see you on pole. How's your car feeling tonight?
It's tight at the start. Well, it's deceptively tight, but it's really not. But it's gonna get really loose. So
what's your game plan heading into tonight? Are you gonna worry about tire wear or just more about position?
I don't know. It's just like if I try to save tires, I'm probably gonna fall to like 15th, and then if I try to keep the positions and get a longer, I'm gonna be in trouble. So I don't know.
Well, Matt, let me ask you, Matt. In saying that you don't know if you're gonna be aggressive at the beginning to where because you've got to save those tires. Would you rather save them early and be there for the long run to watch all the early comers start to be those goers to where you could start to work your way through the field and really try to be there in that miracle what we could see between lap 25 and 30 troublesome area? Could you be one of the people inside the top 5 to where you've got a cleaner entry and a cleaner exit onto and off of pit road?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of hit it right about like the zone, like 25 to 30 is definitely when it gets wild. But I think saving tires here can be sometimes a little easier in a race just because the draft's so strong. So you could just have the draft carry you down the straights. But yeah, I mean, I'll be ready. It'll be a feel I'll just feel it out for the first like 5 laps and see what happens.
All right, Matt. Good luck, sir.
Yep. Thank you.
Good luck. All right, you heard it from Matthew O'Brien. These guys are getting ready to grid up already, but I do want to thank you guys. We have gifted subs out in chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I hope you guys are going to enjoy the show tonight. I know I will from the booth here. Let's get the countdown, though. We have a new pole winner, Francis Hamilton. He brings it out. He's going to lead in that 48 machine with Matt O'Brien on the outside. Row 2, we're going to have Luke Allen in the 7 with Andrew Wisdom on the outside. Row 3, we're going to have Tom Flitcroft in the 8 machine with Thomas Harmon on the outside. Row 4, rookie Jackson Glenn Austin in the 21, Jimmy Cocker in the 11. In row 5, we have Jacob Palmer in the 39 machine with Andrew Sanford in the 37.
Yeah, Brendan Book in that National Guard number 5 is going to start 11th. Riley Rosenbrook in the 86 going to start to his outside to round out the top 12. P13 is going to be Joshua Vidal, another newcomer in the number 27. P14, Kevin Dallator in the 92. P15, Matt Gale in the 67 from the UK with John Honeycutt and Team FTR number 50 starting 16th. 17th is going to be Philip Bridgman, the lone Canadian in the field, piloting that number 9 machine. Jacob Locklear in the 84 to his outside. And to round out their top 20, Cody Kalinka in the 79 with Joshua Turley in the 97.
In 21st position, we have Jordan McGraw in the 34 machine with Dylan on the outside and that number 16. 23rd, we have Rivers Jones in the 91 with Jose Ruiz on the outside. And let's take a look here. Brody Falliker in 25th position with Charles Kramer Jr. on the outside. 27th, we have James Holzer with Hunter Johnson. 29th, we have Joe Berg with Brian Pizzikimmy on the outside. Chuck Cody in 31st with Jeremy Kramer in 32nd. And last but certainly not least is going to be Matt Burgess in 33rd. And some of these guys, they're going to run those different strategies. Some of them you hear They want to start in the rear. They want to see how it goes. Let the chaos go out front and see what they can do out back.
Absolutely, Eliza. These guys have all fired engines going off into turns 1 and 2 behind that pace car. This could be the legit last time they are at these very, very lame or lame duck speeds, which is a term that I heard earlier this week. But yeah, going down the Nellis straightaway again. The backstretch of Las Vegas Motor Speedway does border Nellis Air Force Base, so that's who that straightaway is named after. Going into turn 3 and 4, Eliza, who is your pick to go all in this weekend in the desert?
I don't know. It is a tough one. We had a very close finish last season with Holzer and Brody. We had Hamilton, who is leading the field right now. He finished 3rd, I believe, last season. So he's another one that could definitely win tonight. Andrew Wisdom could win. Thomas Harmon. So many drivers, and this is a track where you have to depend on a lot of draft too. So that is going to be another thing.
You actually just hit on my pick, Tom Harmon, as they come to the flag stand, getting ready to go green. We are off. Let's go.
We are green at Las Vegas, and here they come piling through the 48 with a nice lead out there. Super, super close. You got Matt O'Brien on the outside. This 7 of Luke Allen directly behind. We're going to have Andrew Wisdom on that outside, but these guys 2 by 2 all the way through the field.
Absolutely. The top 2 right now, the 43 and the 48. I was watching the 5 and the 8 of Flitcroft earlier. Those guys were staying side by side lap after lap. It kind of reminded me of Nashville, and it seemed like if you kept the guy on the bottom pinched down to where they could not go full throttle up off the corner and straighten out the wheel a little bit to carry max speed, as the 51 comes charging high on the outside, he wants to take the lead.
Yeah, Andrew Wisdom coming on that outside, taking the lead. There he goes. A huge charge for him right in front of Matt O'Brien, those 2 teammates. So a huge run for these guys. Francis Hamilton still hanging out in 3rd. But man, these guys very close racing already. Now the deal is you got to make sure that you take care of those tires. You're going to see them running around the track. They want that clean air because it gets super tight behind the driver in front of you. So you're going to see these guys. If somebody goes low, they're going to try to take it high and vice versa.
Absolutely. 68 of Tom Harmon right now sitting P3 right behind, tucked up underneath the back end of that 43 for Matt O'Brien, the guy we talked to in pre-race. He was another one as a rocket ship around the outside, was able to settle in between the 48 and the 43. But I think that 68, he's going to charge early, maybe try to gain a point for leading a lap, much like the 51, and then drop back and then try to conserve.
Yeah, these guys are trying to find a way to settle in, but it's Las Vegas, you guys. It gets crazy here. We're going to see the back and forth, but take a look at this. Andrew Wisdom is getting away from the field while these guys are battling it out, going side by side. Wisdom is saying, you know what, you guys do your thing. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, the 68, the 43, the 48, I'm seeing a whole lot of side drafting going on. That's why they're all being pulled back. Now the 68, he's the lone car right behind that 51. Now it's all about what kind of line he can run, what kind of speed he can run, how hard he wants to push to get on up there with the 51, and what he starts to feel from that car, loose, tight, as these laps go on.
21 machine of Jackson Glenn Austin, a rookie for the SnB Cup Series, but man, oh man, already in the top 5, moved up 3 spots from where he started. Looking really, really solid out there. You can see Luke Allen right behind in that pink 7 machine. He was running very, very high up there. 3 wide at the moment, and this is going to be for P7 about. So very, very close racing. A little bit of contact between him and Brendan Book. That's going to put him back another spot. But man, what a great run for these drivers.
Absolutely. 7 finds himself in the 3 wide. Again, he's got the 50 of John Honeycutt and the 11 of the one and only Jimmy Cocker underneath him. So it seems like as a car gets stuck in what you could call the sucker hole, even though we're not at Daytona or Talladega, it seems like that's what it is until they get back double file. You know, we talked about Andrew Wisdom rocketing away. Challenge for the lead.
Challenge for the lead, and they are side by side. We have Thomas Harmon saying, you know what? I want to have some of this lead. I want to lead a point here, get some of those points, all that I can, and he is going to get out front. We're going to have Andrew Wisdom fall back a little bit. And look at this, Jackson Glenn Austin. He is out here in second place, up 5 positions in that 21. Looking solid for him so far.
Absolutely, that monster machine looking really, really fierce. I'm actually kind of liking this. It's like the white version of this scheme that I remember a while back, that frosted white monster can that you see in stores near you. But this actually looks like a really, really nice scheme, nice and clean. But I tell you what, you got to kind of wonder if he's making the driver of that 68 machine a little curious as to what he's going to do. He's going to go high, going to go low. What line does he have to take in order to protect? But the 68, I think goal 1 is accomplished. He's led a lap. He's got that point.
3 wide once again, Luke Allen Brody, and we have the 86 of Riley. 3 wide, they have since figured it out, but man, oh man, it is getting really chaotic back in the field. Not a place that you want to be, but these drivers, the longer this race goes on, the harder it is to pass. So you have to take advantage of these positions early on and then try to save those tires. We said it, around lap 25 to 30, you're going to start seeing these guys get really loose. The 39 gets loose. Let's take a look. Hopefully he survived that, but man, oh man. Yeah, it looks like he's going to fall back a little bit. We have Jordan McGraw back there in the pack. James Holzer, Philip Bridgman. Yeah, it's so tight right now. Absolutely crazy. I do want to give a shout out to 412 Gamer. Thank you so much for the follow. Woody, thank you so much for the subs again. These guys are getting restless.
Yeah, 412 great, Gamer talking out there in chat saying, let's go Kramer. Kramer right now sitting P26, he qualified P26, so nothing, nothing gained, nothing lost for him so far. In fact, he is the only driver besides Cody Kalinka that is still in the position that he's qualified in.
While we're sitting here, let's talk about the track analysis for tonight. Now, we talked about this a little bit, but the pit window is going to be around 55 to 60 laps. So they can pit within that time frame. But I can tell you, we got to make it past 25 to 30. And these guys are bouncing off each other. I see that 84, that 48, and that 37 hitting each other. So that's going to be extremely close. We got to get there first. No fast repairs. You're going to see that all season long. 120 laps for tonight. And we're going to have 4 sets of those fresh Goodyear tires.
Absolutely. And I tell you what, I think they're going to use, if the cautions do come out, if we don't see anything, calamitous around lap 25, 28, 20. Oh, we got a wreck in the back. Just as I say that.
See if we can find out who that is. It looks like we have Jacob Palmer involved. Let's try to find out. Ooh, it looks like the 6, possibly. Charles Kramer hit the apron, and we'll have to rewind that a little bit, but man, oh man.
Yeah, Jacob Palmer in his brand new ride, the 18, the 31, and even more, really involved in a big wreck coming right off of turn 4, getting closer to the pit road entrance, and that 6 just looks like he maybe dipped the left front below the white line and just flat lost it, Eliza.
Yeah, I think we saw a case of just getting a little loose hitting that apron, and it will catapult your car up to the high side, and that's the end of that. A few cars involved. We have most of the field going in, the 67 staying out, and it looks like the 93, we also have Andrew Wisdom in that 51 machine. He is staying out along with Francis Hamilton.
Yeah, Andrew Wisdom, Francis Hamilton, Jimmy Cocker, Matt Gale, and Joe Berg. The top 5 that decided not to come on down for 4 brand new Eagle Field Goods. So everybody else, lap 14, they are going to have a very clear advantage. I'm not quite sure what the top 5 are thinking. That 51's a bad fast machine. Show that he can get on up there. Now 3 positions up. But Eliza, he did it mostly on speed. Something tells me he's going to drop back hard.
Yeah, and another thing you have to watch out for, you have, these older tires and you have the guys with fresh tires right behind you. You have to watch the restart. I can't tell you how many times that I've seen drivers on older tires just completely spin the tires on a restart and they go straight head on into a wall. So that is something we're going to have to watch with these drivers who did not pit. I also want to give a shout out to Wifey88. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Hope you guys are enjoying the race. First caution of the night. We're on lap 15 of 120, so quite a bit to go. But man, we're right in the zone of these guys are going to have a little loose tires, and I'm curious as to how that's going to affect the front drivers.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if the 51, the 48, and whatnot can hold the rest of the drivers on 4 brand new tires at all. I mean, usually if you're going to stay out, you're hoping for at least a few more than 4 to stay there with you. That way you have a little bit of a buffer. You see if cautions breed cautions, as the old adage says. But I think it's very possible that the 51 and company really thought that more were going to stay out. But I tell you what, the guy that won last season, the one of Brody Falliker, he's up 15 spots right now, Eliza, sitting P10.
Yeah, he's looking very solid right now, and I know he is hungry for another win here this season. So I guarantee we're going to see him make his way up into the top 5. He's one of these drivers, Pete, I talk about it every race, but man, oh man, it's so exciting to see how much they have grown. And he is one of those drivers that I'm going to talk about throughout the season where he has just improved. How quickly he is going throughout these races, his strategy, you name it. He has definitely seen a lot of growth.
Absolutely. Shake and Bake has a great amount of core drivers that come back year after year, season after season, and just get better and better. And it puts on a phenomenal race for us, for the fans, for sponsors, for everyone else. So huge appreciation for everything that all these drivers in this field do week in and week out.
Absolutely. Some guys with fresh tires, others not so much. So we're going to see how this pans out. These drivers line up double file, getting ready to go back to green. But let me know in chat, who's your driver? Who do you want to see win? We already heard from a couple, but I want to hear all of these guys talk about who they want to see win. Mike, what's up? I saw you earlier. Hope you're doing well. We got Kramer fans out there. You'll love to see it.
Yeah, Jacob NASCAR involved in that wreck. Very simply put, dang it. But I'm sure he was saying something else behind the wheel, Eliza.
Yeah, he had nowhere to go. The driver in front of him just got loose, hit the apron, and went right into Jacob. Absolutely nothing he could do about that. Let's take a look who's on. We have Hunter Johnson. Jacob still out on pit road.
Yeah, we are coming off of turn number, right in the middle of turns 3 and 4. Lights atop that hybrid iRacing pace car are out. 51 has chosen the outside. Maybe wondering a little bit about the aging of his tires, hoping maybe for a little bit more banking to help him with turns 1 and 2 and the traffic down below. But Eliza, green flag is out. Let's go.
Green flag. Andrew Wisdom does just fine on that restart. Definitely not a place where you want to start in first on older tires. So he knows what he's doing. Takes that outside where you're going to have a little bit more grip. It's not going to be as slippery. He's out front. Francis Hamilton in second. And we're going to have Jimmy Cocker, who's out here in third, up 5 positions where he started. Matthew Gale, how about this? These guys battling it out 3 wide. This is going to be for P3. He has gained 11 spots from where he started.
Absolutely. Jackson Glenn Austin, very, very aggressive right off. The 11 of Jimmy Cocker gave that 48 of Francis Hamilton a shot after the 1 took off. With that 2-1 down below that white line on the apron, going into 1, the man's absolutely diving it in there.
You see Riley Rosenbrook, a minute ago, he was up into the wall as they were 3 wide. He had to bring that back down. Kind of curious. Shouldn't be much damage, but that was a close call for him. Not one that he wants to repeat. Retro, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. These guys running so incredibly close. We're going to see if we can't have a longer green flag stop here. You're going to see them slipping and sliding as they're trying to gain those spots.
You know, one thing about that wreck, Eliza, it came off of, you know, somebody getting a little bit low off of 4, got the got the left front down below the white line. It wasn't a racing deal or anything like that. It was just, you know, simple driver error. So these guys have been very mindful of each other, track awareness, and, you know, taking care of each other, doing a phenomenal job. I'm curious to see now what they know now that they know what to expect from their drivers. Does it ramp up the intensity, or do you start to see you know, a little bit more coming and going, if you will, through the pack?
Well, these guys are still coming and going. We have a battle for what would be P17. We got the 9 car of Philip, Cody Kalinka, and Jacob Locklear. 3 wide for that battle, and that's all the way back in 17th. Just trying to get every position that you can. So these guys are very much still on the move. It's getting pretty wild out here. It looks like it's almost trying to be 4 wide, but they're still hanging on to 3.
Absolutely. Look at the one and only 8 of Tom Flitcroft sitting where I just saw him. He's sitting P12 right now. He's in the middle of a 3-way battle with driver 43 in the 86 as well. Riley Rosenbrook, guy that you were just talking about. He's got that number 91 Rivers Jones Coca-Cola machine down low. Still a lot of 2x2, but at times 3 wide.
New leader out here, and it's going to be Brody Falliker, winner of last season's Vegas race. He's got Jackson Glenn Austin directly behind him, but man, he's got a nice little space out here where if he can keep that up, he can try to get away from these guys. They are battling it out from 3rd on, but Jackson, he says, no, I'm staying with you, and I'm going to be putting the pressure on you for that lead.
You got to wonder, though, Eliza, because he is charging, you know, so hard, is he going to be one of those guys that, yeah, I'm here now, but pretty soon he's really, really loose and trying to catch the thing, or is he going to be up by the wall trying to just save the car because it's getting away from him? Is he being aggressive too early or going too fast?
I don't know. He's one of those drivers that are on fresh tires. The guys that are not on fresh tires are starting to fall back. In 3rd and 4th, we have Joe Berg and Andrew Wisdom. So hopefully Brody is taking care of those tires. He's going to have to, otherwise it will come back to haunt him later. Or he's expecting a caution.
There's caution number 2's out. Looks like Dylan Robb and Philip Bridgman going to have something to do with this one.
That's not showing me what's... Let's go back here and see what happened. Dylan is most definitely involved. 3 action there. Just get hooked a little bit by that 50 machine. I don't know who was in the right or wrong on that one, but extremely close. Let's see if we can't back that one up. Oh, they switched on me. One more time as we go around. Yeah, the 50 car just got into it. We'll try to go on board with him because it is not like in the show. That's going to be the 9 car gets hooked. Man, what a mess out there. Just battling for positions. Not much you can do about that. That's just the tight racing of Las Vegas.
Yeah, 50, very, very unfortunate for the 50 of John Honeycutt. He was very optimistic about this race, and as you showed in the race analysis, no fast repair. So a few of these drivers are going to be sitting on pit road for a while, and with this track being only 1.5 miles in length, you're going to go down a lap or 2, depending on the time you've got to spend on pit road to repair the car.
Yeah, a lot of these drivers went in. We have Francis Hamilton that's going to be 8th on. Went into pit lane to try to get fresh tires, repair any damage that they have. So Brody, he stays out. He might be in the same situation that we had Andrew Wisdom in. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, but you can't take all the tires at once. We still are only on lap 27 with our 2nd caution. So I kind of feel like, you know, it could go either way. You don't want to take 2 sets when you're not even to lap 30 yet.
Yeah, Joe Berg right now up 26 spots, sitting P3 in that number 93 Chevrolet. I tell you, this Pepsi scheme fared very, very well for him last week. Kind of curious what his thought process is, or why he stayed out yet again on now 27 lap old tires. Granted, it's not all under green, but Eliza, it is mostly under green.
It is mostly under green, but if you have been to Las Vegas on the iRacing officials, you know that these cautions are just going to happen. So I have a feeling that some of these drivers, they just want the position. They think that another caution is going to come out soon enough where they don't have to take tires yet. So I'm thinking it's a lot of strategy and a lot of luck that's coming into play here.
Well, I mean, if there's going to be a track talking about luck and lady luck, blowing a kiss your way, this is the place to be. All I keep thinking, Eliza, if he's staying out now, everybody else behind him, like I believe you said from 8th on back, came on down for tires. When he comes on down for tires, they stay out. He's going to end up tailing Charlie. I just don't see the strategy behind it.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult, I have to say. Jacob, thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate it. Husky, I'm ready. Wednesday, we have F1 series hitting to Bahrain for the season opener. So a lot of racing happening this week. And I'm in the booth once again, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's take a look at the points here for the Cup Series. We're going to have Thomas Flitcroft in the lead at 42 points with James Holzer in second with 38 points. And I can tell you, James was only going to be out here part-time, but he was saying, you know what? I might just have to make this full-time. So we'll see what happens with that. Brendan Book in third with 35. John Honeycutt with 34 points. And Jacob Locklear in fifth with 32 points.
Yeah, Matt Burgess, Rivers Jones, Cody Kalinka, Matt O'Brien, and Joe Berg, driver of that number 93 Pepsi machine, rounding out or tied for that top 10 spot. It's there's a few of those drivers are going to take a little bit of a shot in the points here this week, but there's a lot of racing yet to go.
Absolutely. If you guys can, make sure to visit WoodyxCA. He does a lot of streaming with NASCAR and Call of Duty. He is the sponsor for this series, the Cup Series. So give him a follow at WoodyxCA and come back over, tune into the race.
There we go. Down the Nellis straightaway yet again. Lights top to pace car, just like last time, Eliza. They are out 21 up top this time. The one of Brody Falconer, he decided to keep the low side, so he must be feeling pretty good about those tires. 93 Joe Berg sitting P3. Matt O'Brien able to work his way back on up in that 43. And Cody Kalinka in that Hooters 79, now up another 14 spots. This looking like a pretty good race so far for Cody.
I think so, and I'm interested to see how is Birdie going to start off here. He's looking solid so far. We're going to see these guys coming back to green. You see the flag man. He is going to wave us through, and we're going back green.
Great flag. One car hard on the throttle. That is one advantage for being the control car. You're the first one to stomp on that loud pedal. Everybody else, behind you and to the outside or inside of you, they got to wonder when you're doing it. If they've got a spotter, they might be able to say, yo, go, go, go. Otherwise, you're just listening for that first jump of the gas pedal. And so far, it looks like the one's going to be able to come around and keep everybody at bay.
Our top five is going to have a bit of a breakaway as we have one driver through the grass that looks like it might be, let's see if we can find out who it is. Chuck Cody, maybe. I don't know. I'm not even seeing the driver through the grass anymore, but I know you guys saw it with me. Man, oh man. No caution out. These guys are still off and running. What a save.
Yeah, I think actually it was an FTR driver, the 34 of Jordan McGraw that went through the grass that time, able to steer his way through. No damage done to the valence of that thing, and he's back on track and rolling right away.
Seeing the replay of that is pretty wild. He was absolutely flying, cutting the grass out there, but made his way back on track. And let's see if we can find out where he is. Currently sitting P29. And he might still have the draft, I'm going to say, Pete. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, behind Matt Burgess in that A&W root beer machine, sitting P28. Jordan McGraw, he lost a total of 8 spots now from where he qualified, but lost quite a few in that. But one thing he did not lose, Eliza, right there, and that's his car. That Sega Genesis machine, just as strong as ever. I think he can get back up there and contend before the race is over with. We're only on lap 33.
Oh, absolutely. And Cookie Monster says he wanted to touch grass, just doing his daily thing of getting out there. Too funny. Up front, we have Brody Falliker still leading the field with Jackson right on his tail. He is definitely putting the pressure on, making sure he knows that he is there as the rookie in the season. Cody Kalinka, he is the third in line, doing a phenomenal job. Another driver who I feel has grown quite a bit. Meanwhile, in the second pack, we have Joe Berg leading this group with Jacob Locklear on the outside and Matt O'Brien, he's going to be on the inside.
Yeah, we got a battle of the 3Ks up front. Cody Kalinka is sitting with a 3K I rating, 3,100 for Brody and a 3,700 for Jackson. Jackson says, you know what, I may be new, but don't sleep on me. And he's coming into this with something to prove. I think he wants to show these guys, hey, I may be new, but I'm taking no prisoners tonight. Still able to hold off the one of Brody Falliker to the outside, but Cody Kalinka bringing that Hooters number 79 to the lead and pulling away.
Yeah, Cody Kalinka, let's take a look at him. You can see that field through the back window of his machine. But man, what a run for him as he makes his way out front and puts a little bit of a gap between him and second of Brody Falliker. If he can keep this up and save those tires, we'll see that he can put some even more of a gap between these guys. Let's see. I'm trying to find out when he pitted, and it looks like they may have hit at the same time, Pete.
Yep, lap 14. And looking at the timing and scoring loops for Kalinka versus Falliker, Kalinka has been faster, or the fastest, 5 out of the last 5 laps. So even though Brody Falliker, he's had somebody up his trumpet, kind of pushing him down the straightaways and whatnot, diving down into turns 3 and 4, that 79 is really stout.
Absolutely. And we take a look at this. We have Joe Berg, who has yet to make a stop. 37 going on 38 lap old tires. And Wisdom, who is on a whole different strategy. He's on 11 lap old tires himself, sitting P6.
Yeah, Joe Berg setting P5 up 24 spots from when the race started, up on the high side. So he's got a little bit more of that banking to assist him getting around this place. As you see, the one down on the bottom, a little wiggly, looking a little loose there. So Brody Falliker falling back a few spots after leading at the restart. Right now, yeah, he's tumbling back, Eliza.
Yeah, not good for him at the moment. We'll see what he can do as these guys make their way down the backstretch into 3. But Brody Falliker definitely lost quite a few spots, sitting P10, still up 15 spots from where he started. So that is a huge jump when he was in the lead. I would say that's probably about 25 spots up when he was in the lead.
Absolutely. Everybody in front of that one is all single file. So we're talking about 9-10 cars just riding on the bottom through 3 and 4, all the way up by the wall, down the backstretch. Again on the bottom, 1 and 2, then down the backstretch into 3 and 4, all single file. Nobody really giving much. 43 of Matt O'Brien's going to be the first one to pull to the outside of the 68 of Tom Harmon, back with the Avril Lavigne schemes as he's had, every single season so far. Again, very, very fast.
A lot of movement in these cars, a lot of drivers going up high, trying to separate themselves from the draft in front of them. It's going to be that dirty air, not what these drivers want. So you're going to see them. Some are going to be low, some are going to be high. Some of them have no choice but to stay in the line to keep that draft flowing. But it can make your car a little tight. Matthew O'Brien gets into the car up top, saves it, comes back on, and they are 3 wide. They are still moving. Real, what's up? How are you, Stratus? Hope you guys are doing well. We have our race official in the house.
Absolutely, 43 of Matt O'Brien on the bottom, the 86 of Riley Rosenbrook, and then Brian Pizzakemi. He's up 15 spots in that 15th position. They're going to try to go 4 wide, but it looks like the 31 not able to make it stick. Touch that white line just a little bit, lost the back end as he does it yet again. Great save.
Great save as they're about to go 3 wide once again. Man, these guys just battling it out every lap like it is their last. We are on lap 43 of 120, and this is the type of racing that Vegas brings. Some of these guys do not like it. They don't like being so close to other drivers and allowing them to have the draft to keep up. Some drivers like me, I love it. Let's have the close racing, a little bit of contact. I'm all about it.
Well, close racing, close quarters battles, things like that. Well, you're seeing it this week. We're going to see it yet again next week when we go to the last great Coliseum. That's right. It's Bristol, baby. It's going to be a lot of fun there as well as see who can get it done in Thunder Canyon, Thunder Valley, whatever you want to call it. But, man, it's going to be another great week of racing next week as well.
Jordan McGraw, after going through the grass there, flying through the grass, I should say, moves up a couple of positions to 26. Looks like John Honeycutt, trouble for him. A lot of damage on that right front. Let's see if we can't see what happened to him. Under the apron, and I'm going to assume, yeah, gets the apron and off he spins. Really unfortunate. Almost. Yeah, he saved it, luckily. Looks like we're still green.
Yeah, still green. Talking about J-Mac and his position, gaining spots when he took that little four-wheel drive test through the grass on the front stretch. He was down 15 spots, I had mentioned, from where he qualified. Well, right now he's down only 5. So he's making his way through the field. J-Mac right now, he's right around Hunter Johnson and Dylan Robb.
Cody Kalinga up 18 spots as he sits in the lead, but he is about to be challenged by Jackson, who is sitting in second. Meanwhile, we have Jacob Locklear in third, up 15 spots from where he started, and James Holzer up 23 spots from where he started. So a lot of these guys that started towards the rear of the field, they are now up front after a couple of strategy stops that they had. And they are up here battling for the top 5 positions.
Absolutely. Top 3 right now. Cody Kalinka, Jackson, Glenn Austin, and Jacob Locklear. They were all on pit road lap 14 when that caution flew. James Holzer, Andrew Wisdom, and Brendan Book, they all came down on lap 26 when that caution flew. But still, Joe Berg, I gotta tip my hat, Eliza. I really thought he was gonna drop like a rock. With all the new tires around him, depending on when they went down, he's still able to stay inside the top 10, up 22 spots, sitting P7.
There's not a lot of drop-off in time for these drivers as the laps go on. It's just a matter of take care of your tires and make sure you're not getting loose and wearing that right rear down. So as long as you can do that, you can stay in that draft and kind of hold on to it. But you really do have to work to save it. If you're overdriving it, that's when you're going to start to fall back. And we've seen that with a couple of drivers, but I am really impressed, like you said, Pete. He's done a phenomenal job.
How about another guy we haven't really talked much about, Joshua Vidal, sitting P8 right now, up 5 in that Red Bull number 27 machine. He's been taking a few cars up by, wrapping the high side. Right now he's got Tom Harmon, I believe, in the 68 underneath as they all flash by the 50 of John Honeycutt. But he's going to be able to take yet another spot away to move on into still P8. But, he's wrapping that wall, kind of pulling a Larson line, if you will.
Absolutely. You can get such a huge run on that outside, a lot of momentum to head down the straights past any competitors, and a lot of these drivers will use that outside lane to make the passes. It gets a little bit harder as the drive goes on, but Joshua, he is a rookie out here, and he is competing right now with Thomas Harmon, who is an SnB veteran. So huge props to Joshua. He looks great out here, and I'll tell you what, if you watch on Wednesday, he's going to be in the F1 series also. So tune in, watch him out there. He's going to be JDM Culture out in the Xbox.
I tell you, I say it all the time. If you're piloting any of those Indy cars, F1 cars, you got to have Jedi reflexes to make some of the turns that they've got to make around the various courses that are run in the Shake and Bake F1 series. I can't wait to actually log in tomorrow and catch that stream. It's going to be phenomenal as always, I'm sure.
Absolutely. You're welcome to join me in the booth if you want.
I know nothing about F1.
New leader here, though.
We tried
Pete.
that last season with the red tires versus the black tires and the different. Yeah, that didn't. No, it was fun. Don't get me wrong. You know what? I might take you up on it. Maybe.
You should. You should. We have a new leader, Jackson, out here in first. Andrew Wisdom really testing the boundaries out here, trying to see if he can make his way up through the high side. Has that great run, able to get back to his back bumper. We'll see what he does with it. Goes low, tries to make sure that he's in that clean air to get that run that he can. Side by side, Andrew Wisdom trying to go for that lead. We'll see if he can make it happen, but they are going to go still side by side as we head into turn one.
Yeah, both Wisdom and Holtz are faster than the 21 of Glenn Austin the last 5 laps. So they've been reeling him in. Woo! Really testing that whole, 8 tires is better than 4 adage, as the 17 just waiting to see which line is going to move, or is Holzer going to make his own way up on the high side, up by the wall, really have that momentum to come off 21 a little loose, coming across the line. It looks like it's still going to benefit the 51 of Wisdom. Holzer just right there at bay.
Absolutely crazy. These guys just going for it all that they can. Andrew Wisdom out in the lead, Jackson in second, James in third, and I'm getting notifications all over the place that Matthew Gale has gone off track. Maybe we can see what happened to him, see how he's doing, but he seems to be just fine out on track. So I don't know if SDK is a little sensitive tonight, but he looks just fine.
Yeah, the 67 for Matt Gale, a driver out of Great Britain. Again, I give this guy props for staying up as late as he has to in order to run in this series, and has for the last 3 seasons. Another Shake and Bake veteran. But yeah, both sides, the front and the back of that 67 Camaro look just great. I think it's just SDK being a little finicky.
I think so. Stratus says 67 through the grass on the front stretch. All right, so I wasn't crazy. He did go through the front stretch, made his way back on. So we've already seen a couple of drivers trying to help the landscaping company take care of the grass out there, mowing the lawn, making their way back on track. So huge props for these guys. Lap 57 of 120, and Luke Allen hard into the wall. That is going to be some damage for him on that right front. This is where we're going to see a lot of drivers make some mistakes, and hopefully it won't cause a huge catastrophe with a bunch of cars. But man, it's getting close now. It's getting to be about that time, Pete.
I was just thinking the same thing. A lot of these guys came on down pit road lap 26, 27. Here we are, lap 58. We're getting into that lap 20 to 30 window. Some people were saying 25 to 30 as I see some smoke on the backstretch. No call just yet. Ooh. Looks like we're going to stay clean and green. Well, that was actually Brendan Book who just lost it.
Yeah. Brendan Book, we'll see if we can get a replay, but it is starting to look very sketchy. Getting a push by Thomas Harmon. I don't think that's anything that Brendan did. He was just getting a push through the corner, and he might be a little bit frustrated on that one, Pete.
Yeah, a little bit. It seems like he was right on his bumper, push him a little bit, and then they just got to each other's quarter panels, not straight on anymore. This is not a plate track. We're seeing some plate moves here, but you cannot do that.
Absolutely. Back to the front, we have Andrew Wisdom in a line of 4 cars that have broken away from the rest of the pack. That's going to be Andrew Wisdom, James Holzer, Jackson, Glenn Austin, and Cody Kalinka. Cody looking very, very strong out here tonight. I'm very impressed with how he's running. We'll see if he can't keep that top 5 and maybe improve on it. Get him a win tonight.
That would be amazing after the season that Cody had last year. That guy was caught up in so many issues, not of his own doing last season, but talk about last season, our champs right now. Season 1 champ, James Holzer. Season 2 champ, the 51 of Andrew Wisdom. They are side by side, just off turn 2, going down the backstretch. Jackson, Glenn Austin going to school on these two, but Cody Kalinka is still sitting there, P4.
Yeah, while these two are battling it out for the lead, Jackson is going to try to creep his way up there, put a little bit of pressure on these guys, hope for a mistake, and swoop on by. Hasn't happened just yet, but these two, Wisdom and Holzer, very talented drivers side by side. They are still going here at Las Vegas. Lap 62 of 120, just over the halfway mark. We're going to have Andrew Wisdom. He's going to lead the pack once again. James Holzer says, you know what? I'm going to hold back a little bit. You can take it for now.
I tell you what, if the 21 of Glenn Austin is waiting on either the 17 or the 51 to make a mistake to where he can pounce, he's going to be waiting until the end of the season. These guys do not make very many mistakes at all. Usually if they get caught up in something, it's because they're in the wrong place, wrong time. But 21's fast. He can hang, he can hang with the top two, the same as Cody Kalinka right now, still sitting P4 with a little bit of a gap now off the back end of P3. But 17 and 51, if it runs out like this, it may be a duel between these two to see who's dancing on watching it a little bit further in the back, but who's on stage with those Vegas showgirls when it's all said and done.
Absolutely. You can hear Jackson, his tires have a little bit to say about taking that high side. Got very, very close to that wall, but held on to it. Doing a phenomenal job, but he's going to try to bring it down a little bit lower in 3 and 4. But man, oh man, these different lines will help you keep that clean air. It will help you wear down your tires a little bit more evenly if you fluctuate from the high side to the low side. So I'm kind of curious if he will do that. But right now, Pete, he's hanging out on that high side.
Yeah, he's got a 12 lap disadvantage. Wisdom and Holzer were last in on lap 26. Last time he was on pit road was lap 14. It's the same as Cody Kalinka and Brody Falker back there in P6. The only other that came in on lap 26 right around the top 5 is going to be Tom Harmon in that number 68 Avril Lavigne Camaro. But these top 3, they're starting to scoot away.
Tell you what, Joe Berg goes into pit lane, and I was just about to say, how in the world is he staying out there? That was a 66 lap run. Incredible. You see him out on pit lane, taking those tires, taking that fuel. I gotta say, I'm very, very impressed, but normally the run is going to be around 55 to 60 laps here. Joe Berg's got something I don't know about.
Yeah, Joe Berg, he can now go the distance. And he showed earlier that he can really hang with everybody else until the later laps came. But he will not have to pit anymore. He is good to go till the end. So if cautions come out, he's got the track position, he's got everything that he wants, but does it fall his way? He's going to have speed. He's going to feel like Superman now in that Pepsi machine for a while. We'll have to see how many spots he gains as the next several laps go on.
Yeah, he comes out, but he is indeed a lap down. Unfortunate. Speaking of a lap down, we are going to have John Honeycutt, who is 3 laps down. We have Kramer, who is out, and Palmer not giving up. He's still in pit lane here. We're going to have Kevin Delator in 30th place. Joe Berg comes out of pits, 29th.
Yeah, Joe Berg, the first car 1 lap down, so if caution does come out, he is the lucky dog. Or is he going to be able to get on up there? I don't think so, because based on where he is on track. But he's going to have some speed. He's really going to have to watch how fast he catches up to his competition as he gets underneath the 34 of Jordan McGraw.
We're coming up here. Andrew Wisdom going to be hitting lap traffic soon enough. And we saw last week lap traffic did not work out so well. So I'm kind of curious, how are we going to see with these guys trying to make it through? The top 3 drivers just absolutely flying. They are about 2 seconds ahead of Thomas Harmon, who's sitting P4.
Yeah, right now, Andrew Wisdom, he's been faster than Holzer 4 of the last 5 laps. Last lap, he was a full 10th faster than the 17. So the 21, he's starting to lose ground. It seems like those older tires really starting to come into play. They're getting underneath the number 92 Guinness machine for Kevin Delator. It's going to go ahead and put him down. But both the 51 and the 17 able to move their way on by. No issue.
No issue whatsoever. He takes the high side, and we have the 21 trying to make his way on past the traffic. That's going to be Kevin, as Pete said. But take a look at this. Thomas Harmon. These guys really starting to spread out. Lap 71 of 120. We're not 2 and 3 wide like we were earlier on. These guys, the tire wear is starting to approach, and we see the different strategies playing out. We have Falliker, O'Brien, Kalinka, all with 57 lap old tires, along with Jackson, who is still hanging out here in the top 3. So he is doing really well with that tire wear, but we're going to see these guys come in very soon.
Sooner than soon. It looks like Kalinka, Flitcroft, and Luke Allen all came down pit road that time for 4 brand new Eagle Fuel Goods. Go ahead and fill it up with that Sunoco E15 racing fuel. Come on back out. And this is where it really starts to get dicey. But yeah, how about Tom Harmon in that number 68 Avril Lavigne Camaro, sitting P4 up 2 spots from where he qualified. He's in it for the long run, Eliza. This is where Harmon usually shines.
Absolutely. You know, he's one of those, he's around the front the entire race, but then I'm in a truck series with him, and so far I'm pretty sure that he has run every single race, so I know he would love a win here tonight at Las Vegas. Very strong contender at all of these tracks, but he's making his way through. We'll see what he has at the final part of this race. Meanwhile, we still have Jackson, who I'm assuming will be going in shortly. He has fallen off the top 2 drivers pretty sharply in the last several laps, so I think we're going to see him come down pit lane soon.
Yeah, since he was on pit road last on lap 14, he is literally on track now, 60 laps. So he's going to have to whoa and slow that monster machine down very soon. But he's also, Eliza, he's got to worry about his brake bias. Has he had to make any adjustments over this long run? Is he going to have to dial that back to make sure when he goes to slow it down for pit road, he doesn't loop it around, tag the wall? I'm not wishing anything on him. The guy looks very, very fast so far. He's just going to have to get into pit stop mode here very, very soon and make sure that his car will cooperate.
Absolutely. On board with Andrew Wisdom, coming up on more traffic out here, so we'll see how he maneuvers around this, but looking solid as we have James Holzer side by side with these guys once again, but as James, who makes his way out front, Andrew Wisdom is going to fall in behind, and we'll see how pit stops happen, where they come out, and as Pete said, it could get a little tricky. As you go in, you are going to have to make sure your brake bias is okay. You don't want too much brake bias. You will spin out. And coming up back on track, you're going to have to watch merging on.
Yeah, you really are. And it's going to be interesting. You're coming off turn 4. The entrance to pit road's kind of blind. You've got a little bit of time to whoa and slow it up, but you're coming off the banking. You're getting onto a flat track. The car is already loose from the long run. There's so much going on right there. That's it. You don't want to get too much in your own head for these stops, but you got to prepare.
Absolutely. On board with James Halter, you can see Andrew Wisdom behind, and the space between these drivers is starting to increase. Holzer really, really wants this win. He talked about it, saying he got inched out over Brody, and I'll tell you what, it was by 0.003. While you love to have a race like that, you know Holzer wants to have a win instead tonight.
Absolutely. You go ahead and blink your eye. That's 0.003. I mean, it's literally that fast. So for Holzer to try to get down on the apron, get underneath the number 1, and still not be able to do that, using the banking of the track, trying to get that number 17 raceepi.com car at the time to get that little extra oomph. Just not able to get there. Meanwhile, Brody Falker, the guy that edged him out for that win, sitting P5 right now in his Camaro.
P5, and I'm taking a look at Hunter Johnson involved in that first caution out there. Still a lot of damage to his car. Not the race that he wants to see tonight. He is sitting out there as P29, so still a huge mountain to climb out here, but he's right behind that. We have the 21, and we also have Thomas Harmon, who is sitting P4. Brody Falliker in 5th. Matt O'Brien in 6th, and we have Riley Rosenbrook in 7th, up 5 positions from where he started. Jose Ruiz in 8th, up 16 spots from where he started. Francis Hamilton, and rounding out your top 10, it's going to be Jimmy Cocker. And we have some takers for pit lane, Pete. It's going to be Brody and Matt O'Brien.
That's right, yeah. Dylan Robb, Philip Bridgman, Andrew Sanford, a lot of guys really starting to come on down. And talking about Hunter Johnson a little bit in that number 18, and the unfortunate luck that he had in the very beginning of this race, I was actually somewhat taken back when he had to leave in season 1, right when it was really getting good. I think he would have been a very serious contender for James Holzer. He was pouring it on right at the moment, or right at the part of the season where you really needed to. But hey, life and family calls, and he had to vacate. Jose Ruiz was able. I can't say was able. Was moved up to the position that he had earned by being next in points, and put on a great showing of his own. But the 18 of Hunter Johnson, this is not going to be indicative of how this season is going to go for him. I'm looking forward to seeing how strong he can finish in that Camaro for the rest. I'm sorry, that Ford for the rest of this season.
Absolutely. Tom's parents, how are you? I hope you're doing great tonight. Tom, Mr. Flitcroft is in 19th currently, doing a great job out there. Very strong. So I'm not sure if there was a strategy in play, because I know we had a couple of cautions earlier on. I'm still expecting to see him up front. We have Rivers Jones directly in front of him, and Cody Kalinka, who led and was out front a lot of this race. He is currently sitting P16, still up 3 spots from where he started. Day,
Yeah,
what's up? Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, the 8 of Tom Flitcroft, as you said, down in was in P20, now up to P19, right behind the 97 of Joe Turley. He's fastest in practice, qualified P4, just through pit stops and the way that the track conditions have been. He's fallen back a little bit, but I still think before the end of the race, we'll possibly see him inside the top 5.
Jackson, Jacob Locklear, Francis Hamilton, all of these drivers on pit road trying to make their way. And I'm cracking up at Francis, his picture there for SDK. We still have Jacob on pit lane, but Joshua, Jimmy Cocker, everybody. A lot of drivers making their way in, trying to get those fresh tires, more fuel. These guys trying to make it last for the remainder of the race.
You know, some of these drivers made a pretty bold prediction, Eliza, before the race kicked off, that if we got past, lap 25 to 30 on a green flag run, that there was a very strong chance that we were going to see green flag pit stops, and the race at that point was going to go green. It's got a pretty green feel to me now.
Our top 8 so far, they are all on almost 60 lap old tires, so I'm going to assume that these guys will go in, and this is going to reset it, Pete. So do you think that we're going to see another caution? You said 25 to 30 laps. If we can make it by, we'll be fine. But here we go. We're going to have fresh tires once again. Things are going to be a little bit slippery when they come out on those cold tires. Will we see a green run for the remainder of the race?
That is a phenomenal question. And you know what? With how spread out they are now, it's, somebody losing it, coming off of 4, touching the white line, somebody going through the grass, somebody maybe tagging the wall off of 4. It's not going to have quite the impact now that they're all spread out. Nobody's going to have to, do any kind of evasive driving, or at least you're not going to have a whole bunch of cars doing a whole bunch of evasive driving at the same time, which usually causes some issues. We saw a couple cars get tangled up once or twice, but I'm starting to see cars all over this track right now.
Our leader goes in. James Holzer on to pit lane. Looks like he had a solid run going in. Andrew Wisdom, he stays out, so he is going to be the leader. Thomas Harmon in 2nd. Riley Rosenbrook in 3rd. And Matt Burgess, we're going to see him up 29 positions to P4.
Yeah, Matt Burgess in that A&W Ford Mustang GT, or is it the Dark Horse or something like that anymore? Not 100% sure, but yeah, Riley Rosenbrook in the 86. He's well ahead of him in this looks like a Ford also. Tom Harmon entered Chevrolet, but right now it's all about the Toyota leading the field.
Wisdom, Harmon, Rosenbrook, all looking strong. A little bit of separation between these drivers, and then take a look at fourth. Matt Burgess is going to be 10 seconds behind with another 8 seconds, and that is going to be Jordan McGraw, who we saw take a field trip through the grass with no caution. He makes his way up to P5, and I want to take a look. How many lap old tires? He's on lap 63 with the front drivers, so these guys going to be making their way in shortly.
Yeah, 31 on pit road. So is our leader, the 51 of Andrew Wisdom, Tom Harmon, and Riley Rosenbrook, all following suit. 31 actually went through his pit stop just a little bit. That's something we hadn't really had a chance to talk about, or didn't need to talk about before, Eliza, and that is the brakes on these Cup cars. They can really play havoc with these drivers. You gotta keep max speed all the way up to your pit or all the way up to your braking point. Otherwise, you're losing time to the driver. You gotta hit pit road with max speed. You don't want to slow down too early. You want to be going as fast as you can. Otherwise, you lose time. Getting out of your pit, you got to get up max speed, but don't go too fast. Don't speed. You don't want to get that black flag on your exit, but all while you gotta be fast enough. You're not losing time. It is such a dance on and off of pit road.
It is a dance, and I can't stress enough what you were saying about the brakes or lack thereof in these cars. You're trying to get it woed down for pit road, and you put it a little too much. You're sliding the tires, possibly wreck. I can't tell you how many times I've seen these drivers miss their pit stall, including myself. It's just really hard to get these cars woed down in time to make that pit stop. And we have Jordan McGraw, our leader, coming into pit lane. That is going to be Cody Kalinka, who's going to come out as the leader once Jordan goes in.
Yeah, Cody Kalinka was on pit road lap 71, so just 22 laps ago. So Cody's showing the speed that he's got in that Hooters number 79 Camaro. Joe Berg, he's going to be a little ways back, about almost 2 seconds behind Kalinka. And man, Cody really needs this run.
He does indeed. Oh, close call. Driver Joe Berg possibly coming up. Nope, that's not going to be Joe.
Going to be the 9, Mr.
Yeah, it's going to be the 9. So these guys going side by side as they're trying to make their way through on those fresh tires. You'll see Cody Kalinka try to keep it low. I saw him running a few races, and you can hear it sliding just a little bit. He holds on to it, but it is quite the little dance with the throttle and the steering input. You just want to make sure you're very, very smooth. Don't make the tires work too hard. You'll wear them out.
Absolutely. But how about Joe Berg? We questioned, what he was doing, staying out for the first couple of cautions. And right now, sitting P number 2, just 2 seconds behind Kalinka. And he's got fuel and he's got tires. I don't know how well the tires will be at the end of this, but he is just on a one-stop strategy as we get close to 25 to go. The man sitting P2, and behind him, you got Brody Falliker, a few seconds back. So Joe Berg sitting kind of pretty right now.
He is. He's in a good spot. Brody Falliker, as you said, P3. Rivers Jones in that 91 machine sitting 4th. And all of these guys have gained 18 or more spots in the top 4. The most being Joe Berg with 27 spots. Top 5, we have Matthew O'Brien. He is down 3 spots to P5, but man, top 5, he's just such a strong driver. I can't imagine that we're not going to see him with the top 5 tonight. Granted that something doesn't happen, that's crazy. James Holzer in 6. Jackson, who we saw a ton earlier on up in the front of the field. He's sitting currently P7th, exactly where he started the race. And Andrew Wisdom, he's going to be 8th. Joseph Turley in 9th. And Tom Flitcroft, he's going to round out your top 10.
Yeah, Tom Flitcroft also last on pit road, lap 71, as there's now 24 laps to go. So Tom down 5 spots from where he started this race. That Mountain Dew number 8, I tell you, it'll be interesting to see if he can get on up there. But still, hey, I would take 2 top 10s to start a brand new season off where one of them's a win. Now,
Pete, I'm getting a little nervous for Joe. He's done an amazing job with strategy, but I'm kind of curious, has he practiced this before and how much to save on those tires? Because he's going to be coming around 50 or so laps or more by the time this race is done. These other drivers have a lot fresher tires than he will. Can he hold on to this position? He's currently sitting P3, but Matt O'Brien, who is not that far behind, will he be able to make his way up to him and pass him? And will that lead others to make the same move?
I'll tell you what, Eliza, you kind of answered part of that question earlier where you said the wear really wasn't all that bad earlier. And not only that, he's up on the high side, so he's carrying the momentum. He's getting out of the throttle somewhat early and being strong off the corner. The next closest competitor for him is going to be James Holzer, and he's good, just about a good second behind him. Holzer, he's fast. He's fast everywhere he goes, no matter what kind of vehicle he's piloting. But Joe Berg, I think he can still finish in a top 5 as we hit 21 laps to go here from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We're wrapping this up, couple cautions in, but it's really starting to get good. It seems like it's just a conveyor belt of cars around this 1.5 mile track.
Yeah, a lot of cars going through here on board with Rivers Jones in that 91 machine sitting P6. Chevy is looking really, really solid tonight. He is out there. I'm going to see if there's anyone behind him. I was going to say he's on his own little island, but he does have Andrew Wisdom quickly approaching directly behind him, trying to take it low. We'll see if Rivers lets him make his way on around, and he does. He's not going to challenge him for that spot. Yeah,
I tell you, Andrew Wisdom, he used to be, when we got to road courses, like we're going to COTA here in the next couple of weeks, it was like, okay, who's racing for second to Andrew Wisdom? But this man has absolutely stepped it up on every single oval that we go to as well. He has just absolutely found it. And when I look at Andrew Wisdom compared to Jones and Glenn Austin, he's bad fast compared to everybody else. And we're talking sometimes by as much as a second over the next car, or as little as a half second. So that 51's coming.
18 to go, and we have a battle for the lead. Cody Kalinka was side by side with Brody Falliker, who I will say again, he won last season, looking to make a repeat winner tonight. And if he does, that makes 2 races that have a repeat winner from this season to last season. So we'll see if he can't make it happen, but he is no doubt looking strong. And here we go. Holzer just flies by. How about that? What a huge move for Holzer as he makes his way on by. And he was the one he was battling with for last season's win.
You got it. That's exactly what it was. I was like, look who he's battling. And it was Holzer. He just flew down low. He said, not this time. And right now it's 17 already with a good half-second lead.
He's got about 8 lap fresher tires than Brody Falliker does. I know the time doesn't fall off, but if you overdrive those tires, you are most definitely going to feel it. You're going to have to let off sooner, a lot more, and that will affect how you run. But our top 3 drivers, 16 lap old tires, 24, 33, and then Wisdom with the best tires at 14 lap old tires.
Yeah, Andrew Wisdom getting really down dirty and low underneath that number 9 shake and bake. Looks like Chevrolet for Philip Bridgman. Now to the outside of Cody Kalinka, who's, I'm glad again he was able to get on up there and lead a few laps in his Hooters Camaro with that 51 up high. It's like no challenge. Those 10 lap fresher tires over others, he is putting them to work.
He sure is. He is making his way through the field. I'm curious, will this strategy play out in the long run? We're about to find out. 15 laps to go. How many cautions does we have tonight, Pete? 2?
I believe
3?
2 or 3. Yep. We saw 1 or 2 that I'm glad there was no caution. And the wrecks that we did see were pretty intense, but this has been a very, very long green flag run. 14 laps to go for race number 2. Down the Nellis straightaway goes the 51, heading into 3 and 4, and Andrew Wisdom is taking it off 10th by 10th.
He sure is, and he's getting quite a push by Matt Burgess in that 12 machine. 50 of Honeycutt. You see him down low as he's trying to make his way back on track into the field. But man, Holzer just looking incredibly strong out here. He is currently about a little over a second in front of Wisdom, and Falliger, he has fallen back to a second 38, sitting P3. So these guys still very close, but with 13 left, we're going to see how this plays out very shortly as they are too wide, sitting P. This is going to be, well, that's not a fight because Hunter Johnson, man, not a great night for him. He is sitting P24 currently after that first caution came out.
Lap 104, Andrew Wisdom was 3/100ths faster than Holzer. 105, 1.5 tenths faster. 106, 2.5 tenths faster. 3.5 tenths faster on 107, and another 1.5 tenths faster on lap 108. Holzer's not going to be able to hold that 51 back. He's really going to have to make the bumper of that number 17 very, very wide, as the saying goes. In that lap, he was another 2 tenths faster than James Holzer in that 17. Looks like a Camaro as well. So Andrew Wisdom will not be denied this evening.
Absolutely not. We're on board with him currently, and you can see going through this corner here, he is quickly approaching. We are just taking it down. Man, 10th by 10th, we're down to a 0.86 when we were just over a second not too long ago. So Holzer is looking to make a run for this win tonight here at Vegas. Holzer is just hoping to hold on to it, but he can see him. You know he is watching his rearview mirror. He's got Wisdom quickly approaching.
Yeah, Wisdom in just that lap, he went from 8 tenths back down to 6 tenths and falling down to 59. So yeah, we got a. Is that going to be a wreck in the grass? Nope. Looks like they were able to hold on to it so far. iRacing saying the car is out of the groove. We're going to stay green.
Wow, that is twice now. Brendan with not a lot of luck tonight. That is going to be a frustrated Brendan as he tries to make his way back on. No caution. We are still moving, but man, oh man, Holzer down to half a second behind with 9 to go. And I know these drivers are saying thank you. Thank you for no caution for these top 2 drivers. Meanwhile, the guys behind them are saying, I'm hoping for a caution.
Yeah, absolutely. Season 1 champ versus Season 2 champ. You can cue the Jaws music, because that's exactly what this is. The 51 coming. Has he been pushing too hard, though? Another 2 tenths clicked off that last lap. Down to less than half of a second between first and second. You got a car up high. Will it cause any kind of an issue with the 17 coming off 4? No. Maybe even giving a little bit of a drag for Holzer. 51 all over the back end.
This is absolutely insane. I'm super excited, on the edge of my seat. 0.3 behind Holzer. We're going to have Wisdom. This is getting super intense. Matt Burgess backs off, lets these guys battle it out, and Wisdom is quickly approaching, going to dive it down low. Will he be able to make it happen? They are currently almost side by side. Wisdom, will he get that run that he needs to make it happen in this next corner? Meanwhile, Holzer, he's got some damage on that car out there. I didn't realize how much, but man, that car has seen a lot of action tonight.
I'll tell you what, whatever damage it's got, I think it's helping a little bit, because he's 3 seconds back to Brody Falliger, who he raced for the win last season. But I think what the 17's got to do, if the 51 manages to get to his inside, he's got to pinch him down, like what we saw between the 8 and the 5 in practice earlier. If he can't pinch him down, the 51, right now, I think he's just back there. He's cooling his tires, saying, okay, I am here. I don't have to push anymore. Anybody that was between us as the 92 of Dalator, again, tags that outside wall right in front of the leaders. 51 now, this time, about a half a lane up off the bottom, right behind the 17. Both of them still able to get behind the 92. Coming across the wall, the 51 tags the wall.
Man, close race. I don't know if the 17 squeezed him and it scared him a little bit, but Andrew Wisdom That's going to break his run just a little bit. He's still right there, but 4 laps to go. You have to make sure that you keep your car clean. You don't want any front nose damage. It will hurt you in the long run. We have Wisdom underneath, getting to his right quarter panel, going to get that side draft all that he can. 3 wide, 2 for the lead. These guys still making a run with 3 to go. Pete, this is crazy.
Here it is, 17 pinching the 51 down. This is going to disallow the 51 from getting back in the throttle, allowing the car to eat up off the corner. Basically able to straighten out the wheel to carry max speed. They're making contact into 3.
Contact into 3, and I'll tell you what, these two have a history. It goes back for a couple of years. They have found a new respect for each other, but I'll tell you what, the competitiveness will never go away. And with 2 to go coming into the final lap shortly, these guys are going to fight all they can, but Andrew Wisdom has fallen back. I don't know if he's going to have enough, Pete. What do you think?
I think he's going to try one last attempt. We may have a re-air or a replay or a repeat of what we saw between the 17 and 1 last season. We are coming to the white flag. It is checkers or wreckers from here on out. Can the 51 take the win from the 17 to where Holzer is denied or rejected yet again? Or does Holzer get it done, claiming the spot that he put out on Twitter earlier that he was going to claim off of 2 down the Nella straightaway for the last time?
Taking the high side, trying to hope and pray that he can get the run that he needs. I don't think he's going to get it. We're going to see Holzer make his way around the bottom, the shortest way around the track. We're going to see him come across the checkered. Here we go. Holzer is your winner at Las Vegas. Huge congratulations. We're going to have Wisdom bring it home in second. Holzer is your winner. Brody Falliker in third. Thomas Harmon in fourth. And Riley Rosenbrook with that top 5 finish looking solid.
Absolutely, Rosenbrook. Then we got Matt O'Brien in the 43, who also led today, right along with Cody Kalinka. Jackson Glenn Austin, he led today. Jose Ruiz for Team FTR, bringing home P9. And then Jimmy Cocker in that Virginia Tech number 11 rounds out the top 10.
Let's get these drivers into the booth here as we hear Holzer celebrating a little bit. Let's see. We'll get him. All right, Pete, help me out. Can you get, I can't bring Andrew Wisdom up here.
Absolutely. I'll go ahead and grab him and
I will get Brody Falliker. All right, you want to get him too?
I got Brody Falliker already.
Sweet. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Man, look at Holzer celebrating here tonight. A huge race for these guys. First I'm going to say, Holzer, we saw you coming in here as part-time. What are you thinking about that right now? Are we going to do full-time?
I mean, we're thinking about it. Definitely with as good as that race went, it's hard to not go full-time. I just miss it too much. I just know with my schedule with work and everything going on with open stuff, it's really hard, to commit. So that's kind of why I was under the part-time role. But as we see that we can run, and we're still running really good, so we'll see. I was talking to Brendan. I might run this season and not run the second season as my quote-unquote part-time. But man, was that race a lot of fun.
We saw a couple of cautions earlier on. Did that change any strategy as you were thinking about going into this race, or was your strategy still relatively the same?
It varied a little bit. We had those 2 quick cautions. I didn't take tires the first one just because track position here is so key. Took it really easy that first run. Tires were in very good shape, so figured no tires get me some track position, and was able to make up a few spots there on some of the other guys that stayed out and got up to about P6. Then we got that other caution and took tires, which ended up working out because we went green to the end, I think, from there. But yeah, it was a really good race, and Andrew and I ran hard, to say the least. We swapped spots a couple times. I was able to use clean air up on the top when he had a lap car that he probably thought was going to run the top. Kind of ran the middle, and he kind of got caught in some dirty air, and I was able to get around him and then pull away there a little bit just because I was just kind of riding in line waiting for the pit stops to happen at that point, just because there was no use in us battling. We were pulling away, but was able to check out a little bit and didn't want to stay out too long and get caught, but also wanted to pit before Andrew and have the clean air. Got on and off pit road just okay, but he was able to really reel me in, and my handle was going away. And lap cars were making it easy, but making it difficult just because I had to run the top, and they were obviously forfeiting me the bottom, just because there was multiple of them, and I didn't want to get caught, with one around the low, one around the middle, just to keep it predictable. So I was having them run the top, and I was just tight in, loose off on the bottom on that long run, just because I pushed a little bit more, just to try to build a gap on Andrew, but. Yeah, he was able to get there, and we doored and ran really clean for a couple laps, and that pass could be really hard to make on the bottom, but he almost did it. Like I said, my handle was gone. The right rear just wasn't having any of it, but nonetheless, it was an awesome race, and we were able to really string together a pretty good green flag run there.
Yeah, the green flag run was amazing. A lot of hard racing out there. And I know you put a picture out there on Twitter earlier today. You had a side-by-side finish with Brody Falker last season. How does it feel to be the winner this season?
Yeah, it feels good. We're off to a really good start for points, finishing P2 at Daytona, pushing our teammate Tom, and then getting the win here tonight. I don't know if we should be the points leader, I guess. I'm not sure where Tom finished, but with this being a Winston style points format without the playoffs, it makes it really important to finish those races consistently. So it was really nice to bring home a good finish and keep that momentum going forward if we do decide to keep on running all year.
Absolutely. Well, huge congratulations to you on the race win tonight at Vegas. You did a phenomenal job, and I'm excited to see what you guys will do for the remainder of the season. But Holzer, it's good to have you back.
Yeah, if that's any bit of it, Andrew and I are going to have a historic battle for wins. Man, was that fun. I mean, you can't ask for anything more of the guy. I mean, we ran clean, respectful, and really hard racing. So it's all you can ask for, and that's what keeps me coming back.
Absolutely. All right, Pete, over to you.
All right, Andrew Wisdom, man, one hell of a battle. You really ran your way down, back up to Holter, had to get by a few lap cars, a few other cars that were for position, and then you got to his back bumper. Walk me through the battle that you had to get up to Holter's door. You made a little bit of contact with the wall. You even contacted each other's, panels, going, I believe it was across the stripe with about 2 to go. Walk us through that battle, please.
Dude, I don't even know. Like, I've never been so excited in my life over a second place finish. That was insane. Like, we tried the high side, we tried the low side. I tried to pinch him up against the wall, I tried to pit him behind a lap car. I tried everything. It didn't work, any of it. But, yeah, that was sick. I honestly kind of hate this type of racing where it's so aero dependent, and, dirty air means a lot, and the edge is really thin, kind of between tire wear and trying to keep the handle on the car, and it just kind of feels like you're on a knife's edge the whole time with not a lot of wiggle room. But I just kind of gave up on it there in the last few laps, and I tried literally everything, and there's not very many people that I could lean on their door in the corner like that and thus keep it clean and not wreck and be able to battle like that and go just, I don't know, that was just insane. That was one of the coolest battles I think I've ever had. Being able to race somebody that hard and everybody come out of it okay in the end. So I'll definitely take a second place finish. I was surprised that I caught him as much as I did there, kind of in the last 15 laps. But yeah, just I don't know. It was awesome. I'm perfectly happy with finishing second. I think I lagged just a little bit there on that first run, and definitely gave it a good shot.
You had 10 lap fresher tires than Holzer, catching up to him, working your way through traffic. At what point did those tires kind of give way, and how hard did you have to push to catch up?
Yeah, I was pushing pretty hard the whole run. It's kind of one of those situations. I think I came out behind him about 2.5 seconds, I want to say, maybe.
Yep.
After the pit cycle. So it's one of those where it's like I stayed out hoping that the fresher tires were going to help me, and I kind of knew I basically had no choice but to try to push it and kind of see how much I could get away with without having the grip fall away. So just pushed as hard as I felt like I could without burning the right rear or the right front off of it. The front was really my problem towards the end of the first run, kind of navigating traffic and trying not to turn in too much. So yeah, just kind of threw caution to the wind and tried to be a little aggressive and keep it off the right front and take advantage of the fresher tires, and it just about worked out.
Well, congratulations on this P2. Amazing battle. Definitely put on one hell of a show, working your way on up to the 17 of James Holzer. We will see you next week again when we head to Bristol. Eliza?
Brody, a podium finish here tonight. You were so strong out there. We saw you start towards the rear of the field. What was your strategy going in tonight, and how did you make your way up through?
Well, the cautions, honestly, I wasn't really expecting us to have cautions at the beginning of the race. I will say I wish I would have pit on the last caution and on fresher tires. I feel like that would have made a whole lot of difference. I felt like I was able to come through the field really easily, starting 25th, and then by the first caution being up to third. I felt like I was really able to roll through traffic, and on the last cycle, I slid through my pit box, so that definitely uh, gave up some time on track. I don't know how close I could have been, but my car felt amazing tonight. I was really able to throw it into corners and just full throttle out of it. I mean, I did not have one single handling issue.
Yeah, I mean, you looked extremely strong out there, and going off of last week's finish and tonight, I mean, you're going to be sitting really great in points, gaining a few spots, I guarantee. But man, oh man, battling throughout, how hard was it going 2 and 3 wide? Did you feel loose or tight, or what was the car setup out there feeling like?
I mean, it was loose, or it was tight on entry. You have to kind of roll out of the throttle really early and sometimes use a little brake. But what I was doing, I was mashing the gas right as I would get back to the throttle, so it would kind of throw it, kind of kick it sideways, so I'd kind of turn down the banking, and I wouldn't have to lift after that. Um, I mean, in traffic, dirty air was definitely there. Like 30 laps into the run, whenever everyone's tires are kind of starting to fall off, you kind of start to look for clean air. But whenever you're in the pack, you can kind of just save your tires right around in the draft. I kind of tried to balance both of that.
Well, you did a phenomenal job. A lot of fun watching you guys out here. Huge congratulations to a podium finish, Brody. I cannot wait to see what you guys do out there next week. It's been a blast so far. A huge congratulations to Holzer tonight. And man, that final battle was absolutely amazing. Next week, I do believe we're headed to Bristol. I'll have to check, but I'm pretty sure. So we'll see you guys the same time, same day. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. WoodyxCA, thank you so much for sponsoring this season. We very much appreciate it. Make sure you go check them out, give them a follow, and tune in next week. Pete, it's always fun with you.
Absolutely. Definitely looking forward to Thunder Valley. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. The last great Coliseum never disappoints. If we have another 30-plus car field, which I have no doubt we're going to have, Eliza, I cannot wait for that green to fly. Let's go.
Absolutely. All right, guys, that's it for us. If you did not catch the race and you're just tuning in, be sure to rewatch it. The battles out there were just intense. You gotta love it. It's what I love about Vegas. Watch it. Let me know what you think about it. You guys have a great night.